Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Michelle, for those of you who are just dropping in. And today I'm gonna talk about fear and the mind-body connection. So let's all put ourselves behind the wheel of our car and we're headed down the freeway, and all of a sudden a car pulls right out in front of you, and what do? You hit the brakes and you go sliding, and as you slide, you literally rear end that car. So let's backtrack and think about what happened. You saw a car, you reacted physically as you reacted thinking, wow, there's a car in front of me, possible danger. And then in the process of you stepping on the brake, trying to avoid injury, what actually happened is your heart rate increased, your blood pressure increased, your body began to secrete the stress hormone cortisol, and your focus became very narrowed. At that time, you were not thinking about anything else that you were thinking about before that car pulled out in front of you. So we're gonna take this particular instance where we can all pretty well relate to being in a vehicle and someone pulling out in front of us, what actually happens. Now, the mind and body are so connected that you cannot disconnect the body from the mind, nor the mind from the body, no matter what you're trying to do. And what happens with fear is a thought always precedes an emotion. There's no other way to have an emotion before a thought. You can have an unconscious thought, maybe in a dream, or an unconscious thought in reaction to maybe a song on the radio or something that you see that brings up memories. But you always have a thought first, and then the thought actually will make the body produce a chemical, and that chemical is the feeling. And we're going to talk about fear in this video. So what happens in fear is your body begins to go in fight or flight, where the only thing the body is thinking about is survival. And humans are the only species that can turn on the stress response or fear with thought alone. The body cannot tell the difference than the actual event than the thought. So some instances where you might feel fearful, maybe a failed relationship, maybe losing a job, maybe something not going right. Actually thinking about the event actually produces the same response in your body than if the experience was already happening in the now present moment. The body does not know the difference. It cannot differentiate between what you're thinking and what actually happens. And that's how fear can really get down inside of us and become so ingrained and really locked into our body if we don't know how fear works. So how can you get out of some of the fear? So the biggest thing to do is having knowledge, which is knowledge is power, is understanding the bits of information I kind of went over. And if you're starting to feel fearful, stop and think, okay, why am I feeling fearful right now? Okay, I think this is going to happen. Now, let's analyze it. Is it really happening, or am I just think it's gonna happen? Am I trying to pre-pave a road to the end of the driveway of fear instead of a rainbow? Now, I understand circumstances may not be going good, but fear often can produce the most reactive responses in your body than any other emotion, because when you're locked in fear, it can not only produce illness and dis-ease, but it can actually take you and just really isolate you where you can't see no way out. And this happens a lot of the time when you've got someone that has anxiety, because when you have anxiety, or maybe you've had panic attacks, once you've had an experience that's been not so good, then what happens is that fearful event or experience becomes a memory in your brain, and the memory becomes more heightened and longer lasting the higher emotional quotient that you have. And fear is the most, besides love, the most highest quotient emotion that you can have. So to help you is become aware, kind of look at, okay, what's going on with my thoughts, because I can't be fearful without a thought. And then the next thing is to distract yourself from thought. I understand this may not be easy, but the best way to do this is breath. The moment you begin to focus on your breath, what happens is you literally start changing your internal state of your body physically. Your brain waves slow down, your attention or focus open back up, your heart rate begins to decrease, your blood pressure, so on and so on. So the key is to become aware, I'm feeling this way, okay, and then see if it's something you can change your thought. And if you can't, then you want to go to the distraction or the focus on breath, or even a focus on your body, focus on your big finger or your little toe, anything to get your mind off of direct thought will actually decrease what's going on physically until you can actually get out of that way of thinking to figure out the fear or the event so that you may manage it. So guys, those are the tips and tricks for today. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe below, and I'll see you back in the next video.